Welcome to Soul Horizons Tarot. This is a love reading for the sign of Gemini. Um, it looks a mess, but the reason it's all like this is because I went to do the long reading, and midway through the reading, my phone died. So everything was corrupted, and I decided to say screw it and just start from the very beginning. I won't have a part one, part two. I'm just going to do all of it right now. Hopefully, we can get this in under an hour, but knowing me and how I get carried away in the story, that probably won't happen. Um, Keep in mind this is a general reading, so not all the information here will resonate for everyone. Um, this is for singles or couples. It's a reading designed to talk about the person you're meant to be with. Again, that can be for people who have not met anyone, and it can also talk about people that just want confirmation on the person that they're with. So just take what resonates and apply it or discard it accordingly. If you want a personal, private reading, all that information is in the detail box. Um, so let's get started, I guess. So starting off with, who is your person? We do have, let me move these out of the way. We have the Seven of Swords. Now the card in the middle is the main pool. The cards to the side or under are just clarifying cards. And your person pulled up, and keep in mind too, gender neutral, man or female. You could be the man in the situation, you could be the female, you could be uh, dating a female and be a female. It doesn't matter. I will just say he or she depending on the gender of the card. So ignore that. Um, and signs can be relevant, or they don't always um, match up, but it's just the energy of the card that you should pay attention to. So your person could be an air sign. Um, you do show up as yourself in this reading as a Gemini, but your person could be a Gemini, Libra, or Aquarius. Again, signs are not as important as the energy. Now, with the Seven of Swords, I did clarify this because sometimes the Seven of Swords gets a bad rap about being a card about deception, lies, cheating, theft, scandal. Um, but here, I do feel like this person does come off as secretive, probably very private, maybe mysterious, um, somebody that strategizes, may go about doing things in a way that others may perceive as deceptive or sneaky, but it's just how they operate. Um, I feel like a lot of you, this is like, you know, uh, upon first meeting this person, first impression, this may be the energy or um, how you perceive them. But as you get to know them deeper, I don't feel like this person is like that. I do feel like this person is coming from a place of, having dealt with disappointment or pain in the past just because of what I've seen here, what I've already read, and I'm just redoing it. So I already know. I have a heads up here. So with the Seven of Swords, somebody who strategizes, they analyze a way to gather information. It is clarified by the Page of Swords, which is another card about the stalker. So this person may go about finding information under the radar. They're not overtly asking people questions. They're digging into information and digging up, um, coming to their own conclusions by, seeking out their own conclusions, basically. Now, there may be a child, maybe this person has a child, or maybe they can come off a bit childish with the Page of Swords. Um, but I also do, for some of you, I get the energy that this person may not approach you in a way that you feel is interest. Like they don't automatically just come forward and say, "Hey, I like you." I think they're going to do some research and do their due diligence in looking into the type of person you are, if you're compatible, if they like you as a person, before they approach you with this Two of Cups energy, which is that connection. And that is an emotional connection there with the cups. So I do feel like they have the ability to access those emotions, but they first come off as this very secretive, sly, possibly, again, upon um, first impression, it may come off as somebody who is, you know, um, maybe their motives or intentions are questionable just because they don't openly express where they're coming from, why they're doing things the way they do them. Um, Now, for a small majority of the people that may watch this could be with the Seven of Swords and the Two of Cups. This could be kind of a situation where somebody is already in a relationship and you two meet during that. And not to say that anyone would cheat or go outside of their relationship, but it may be kind of um, you know, a, a situation where you're not telling your partner, or they're not telling their partner, or maybe they're not even disclosing the fact that they are in a relationship when you guys meet. But that's not a strong message here. Mainly, I feel like this person is this way because of um, just their experience with maybe previous relationships or just life in general, disappointments that they've had with people that they loved and cared for and trusted. Because we do have the Five of Swords, and when clarified, that came with the Seven of Wands. So that's a super defensive energy there. This person might be easily triggered just because they're always expecting. Now, with the Seven of Swords, this can be a trust issue. Maybe you have trust issues with this person, or maybe this person just has trust issues with you or with people. Um, and I say that because of this, the seven or the Five of Swords and the Seven of Wands can come across kind of like everything you say or do is immediately taken offense to, or they're very, very defensive. Um, they may be very quick to like take things the wrong way. And again, I do feel like that comes from just experience. It's not a mature way to handle it, but I do feel like this does get better. So if you're hearing this and you're like, oh my God, that's my person, just understand this person is coming from a place of pain. Their reaction, their how they approach things is coming from that space. So this person could also be, in the military or in law enforcement as well. Maybe even a private investigator, a detective, or something of that nature. Because swords can represent that, especially the Seven of Swords, a strategizer, a planner, a coordinator. Um, and maybe they're not so much quick to anger, but maybe they're just those they choose to love. They are very, very protective of, and that can be an aspect of these two cards. If you two are a couple, and somebody says something offhand to you, disrespects you in any way, they will 100% come to battle for you. And another aspect here too, for those that this person does have a child, a previous child with excuse me, a child with a previous connection or commitment. They may be very protective of themselves because there are children involved. They may not be super trusting towards others because they have to protect, you know. their children or um, that relationship. So they're not going to just let anybody come in. So with these, I pulled these three tea leaf cards, and we have the moon, which says changes in your life, the clouds, a temporary problems, and the pale, which says time to get out of a situation. So again, for some of you, this person is coming from that moon space, and in the tarot, moon is it can be kind of a deceptive energy, a secretive energy. It can be coming from a place of emotional trauma or fear or um, just things not being clear. There's a lack of clarity. There could even be some self deception there as well. But with these cards altogether, they are going through some type of transitional phase. Again, I think the strongest message I get here is that regardless of their last relationship or the one that, you know, hurt them the most, it doesn't matter the span of time since that, it's it's still here. Um, but even if they're not coming out of a relationship, they are going through some type of change in their life. And I do feel like it is temporary with the clouds for some of them, for some of you, for your person. Um, but we do have, again, that time to get out of a situation. So that might be why that Seven of Swords is there. They're trying to strategize a way out of the situation that they're in. And it could very well be a previous or prior commitment. And that doesn't necessarily have to mean a love connection. It can be a family situation, a coworker slash career thing, or even, who they surround themselves with, friends and such. And that may be why they give off this energy of what we talked about, is because they are going through changes and they are trying to um, figure out a way to do it in a way that's not that can be easily solved or quickly dealt with. And then, yeah, they know that it's time to leave this because it's unhealthy. So we're going to move on to, is the attraction instant between the two of you? Now, again, this plays for people that have already met their person and they're wanting confirmation, or this can be, for the singles out there that are wondering. Always keep in mind this is a general reading, so this is not going to be for everyone. Um, but here we have the Queen of Swords, and I do believe that's you, a Gemini, Libra, Aquarius. And we also got the King of Swords. So that goes to show me that this is as far as how you are, the attraction towards each other, it may start off, especially with this Three of Cups, it may start off very friendly. Um, with the King and the Queen of Swords, you're both kind of at that same maturity level. Um, both of these individuals, the King and the Queen of Swords, are very smart, very intelligent, very logical. Um, the Queen of Swords is the widower or the widowed. So this is somebody who's, that's been through a lot themselves. And because of that, they put on this facade of not caring, but in reality, they're very caring and loving individuals. But first, you have to get through their test or their tests. Their series of tests. You have to prove yourself, um, and that's where I think you are when you meet this person. And right off the bat, the two of you here, at least, instant, the attraction level is going to be in the mental area, the mind, how you two communicate, your thought processes, and possibly, your perception of things, your beliefs, your ideas. You're going to match up really well, and you're probably going to enjoy talking to this person, and this person's going to enjoy the conversations with you. Um, there's people out there that they get turned on by stimulating conversation. If they can have a conversation with somebody and have that rapport back and forth and have that kind of mental connection, um, that's where, physical attraction is one thing, but if you can match them where they're at mentally, um, that shows that there's more than just the lust factor. So I mean, that's not a sexy thing to say. A lot of people just want to know if, okay, are they going to find me attractive? Am I going to find them attractive? Well, initially, I feel like it may start out, as a friend, platonic. Maybe you know each other from work. Maybe you know, like, friend of a friend. You kind of have that same social circle, and you meet in that way. But I feel like you're going to hit it right off the bat as far as conversating, and mental, aptitude, or just how you both see the world and how you can play off of each other. Maybe you're both witty and funny, and they're really good at coming back, and you're really good at it. It just flows really well there. Um, but I do feel like you'll have fun together too with that the 3 of Cups can talk about, friendship, celebration, partying. Um, it can also be a reconciliation card. So this may be somebody that you already know. But that doesn't necessarily have to mean that. Um, so is the attraction instant? At least on a mental level, the answer is yes. But I feel like it's more than that just because, I mean, the King and the Queen of Swords are kind of like that divine pair. So you're going to meet at a soul level too, if that makes sense. Because you can have a queen of swords and have a king of cups, or a king of pentacles or wands, and they're going to be attracted, but they're gonna think differently, they're gonna love differently, they're gonna need different things. So you two here, the king and the queen of swords, are like, you align. So that's good. I know, it's not a sexy definition. It's not something that some people would put much value in. But anyway, so the other cards here are club. Someone will try to make you do something against your will. Not really sure how that plays into this, other than maybe coming back to this, how you kind of see them as sneaky, or there's something that's kind of questionable about their motives. And you come into it with that Queen of Swords, because again, the Queen of Swords can be kind of standoffish. She can seem unapproachable. But that's just, the energy she puts off to dissuade anybody that's not serious about her. Like, she holds high standards for herself because she's been through the crappy relationships. So maybe you feel like the way this person approaches you is not, it's not what you want. But then we have family wishes come true with the well and claw. Be careful, do not take risks. And I'm going to kind of jump ahead here because really this combination did not make much sense to me, but as this reading progressed, it did. There could be somebody um, within this social circle, and that can include, again, friends. It can also be family members. It can be coworkers. So if you guys do work together, there could be somebody in that mix that's kind of like a three-party situation. Somebody that's can cause interference, and I do feel like it's probably a family member. It doesn't have to be. Um, it could be like a close friend of yours or this person's, and I kind of feel like it's on their end, somebody that they're attached to. Um, that's it's going to be kind of a negative influence to the connection. It could even be, if this person does have a child, it could be the mother of the child. It could be a friend who has jealousy issues when, this person gets attached to someone else, they feel threatened. It could be, again, friends or family, coworker. Just keep that in mind because this started to make more sense as I kept going. Um, but I do feel like you're both approaching this in a sense that nobody wants to get hurt. You don't want to get hurt, they don't want to get hurt. And so you both kind of come together in a sense like I maybe you both meet at a time where you're not interested in love or you're just very guarded when it comes to the idea. Um, and that's where that energy of someone trying to do something against your will, because that right there is that's a red flag. But this is a reading about your person, and this is a person that's for your best interest, greatest good, highest potential. This isn't just a short term. This is supposed to be a reading about a long term relationship, a healthy and fulfilling and mutually supportive relationship. So I feel like this has something to do with the three of cups. Somebody in either your or their life may kind of try to inject their opinion or their perspective and try to like cause some issue there, cause some drama. Um, so let's move on to what is your person going to be like? So again, the middle cards, the main pool, these cards to the side are the clarifiers. So they're coming up as the King of Wands, and that does not really match here. So that's why I'm saying that I feel like this person is coming out of a period in their life where they're going through changes. They may have just come out of some type of situation where it was not healthy, because they are showing up here as the King of Wands. Now it could be Aries, Leo, Sagittarius. Again, signs not necessarily important, but somebody very passionate, driven, ambitious, funny, charismatic, attractive. Now, attractive is subjective, so they can be physically attractive. Their confidence can be attractive. This is a very confident individual, somebody that you know when they want something, they don't beat around the bush. They go get it. Um, excuse me. My throat's got kind of scratchy and dry for some reason. Hold on. Very ambitious individual. Could be they have they take good care of their body. They may be fun and adventurous, spontaneous, but they do have the Seven of Wands, which again comes back to that same thing that was here. Very defensive, maybe a bit proud. That does come across, and later on in the reading as well. They may have some issues with you know sacrificing or letting go when they have something they want. They might just like, if no, it's my way or the highway kind of attitude. But this can also, you know, be a card about somebody that you can rely on, somebody that you can depend on. Even when things get difficult, they don't back down from a fight. They will, meet it head on, and they'll do so gladly because that's a part of their character. That's something they take pride in is their ability to, um, see things through. So I think in this sense that would be a good card. However, they can be a bit, um, abrasive or just defensive. Maybe sometimes they come across a little mm, almost dogmatic, but I don't think it's too much of an issue. I mean, it could be. I don't know. Well, it's just you'll know when you meet this person. Like obviously, once you get down to past the honeymoon phase and the knee jerk reaction to them, those things come out eventually. But we do have the Eight of Pentacles here, and that's a card about a very hard worker, somebody that um, puts a lot of pride in what they're good at, but they're also driven to do better and do more. They don't settle for, okay, I've done a thing and that's my peak. They want to continue and continuously expand and grow. That's that Eight of Pentacles, somebody that is a master of their craft. They may have a business that they've started, or they may just be in a career or a position that they've worked hard at, and they want to continue to strive to further that. But very hard worker, and that comes into play with that Seven of Wands. This is somebody that's very diligent, very driven, and again, it's a point of pride for them. Giving up and giving in and like releasing a thing and just letting it be, good or bad, is offensive almost. That's what it's coming across as. Now we do have the rat, which says someone working against you behind your back. And I don't think that's you. I think it's this person. Again, that comes back into play back here where they feel like they have to approach things under the radar. Like they're not overt, they're very covert about things. And this pops up more than once. You have the mice, we'll get into that. Um, but I do feel like, again, there's somebody in their close circle or their close environment, friend, family, what have you, that I feel like has had control over them in the past. And that's why they approach things like this, because they always feel like they have to fight for their position. They have to defend their position because of that experience. And that it falls into line with that, if that makes sense. Like the rat is right underneath the Seven of Wands. They may have a bit of a obsessive thing going, like everybody's against me, but I don't think it's that as much as it is like just a reaction, a causation, I guess, of whoever they've had to deal with or are still dealing with. And then we have warning or finger, warning you of a problem either now or in the future. And I feel like that's telling you how to adapt to that kind of energy, that kind of personality. I think it might throw you off a bit how this person is, especially if they do come at you like everything you say they take as a challenge. And until they know that your intentions and your motives are not to, um, take anything from them, then it's just basically like they're always on edge or they're always on guard or they're always like feeling like they have to defend themselves. And that can be a problem. And that's a warning there, not only for them, even though that's not their reading, but mainly a warning for you. Like this is the kind of person that you might have to have a little bit more patience with and a little bit more understanding and compassion. And then we have owl, good advice from a wise person. I think business-wise, this person is very business-minded. We do come up with a lot of swords, and swords are they're mind, right? They're mental. It's a mental thing. Intelligence, they're good at analyzing things. They're good at being very logical. Um, this might be somebody that's good with numbers, or they just have a good business sense. So I think they'll be somebody that you can talk to, get advice from. Um, But it also kind of plays back into this as like maybe there's somebody in your environment that can kind of that gives you advice about this person. Like, hey, they're a little bit edgy, but underneath all that, they're like a soft boiled egg. And that's a terrible analogy because this like popped in my head, but I think you get what I'm saying. Like, and two, it's kind of funny. We got the owl and the rat, and owls eat rats. So it's kind of like this can trump that as long as you follow advice and not just from maybe friends or outside perspectives, but yourself as well as the advice here. As long as you like, you know, approach this person with a little bit more patience, you can get to that soft and creamy center. Um, so moving on to the weaknesses of the relationship. And here, I mean, every relationship has its weak points. And then we have the strengths. So we have the Nine of Cups, the King of Cups, and the Ten of Pentacles. Uh, as far as signs, Cancer, Pisces, Scorpio, but again, remember, not as important as energy. As a weakness, the Nine of Cups and the Ten of Pentacles, and the fact that the coins is right underneath this, the King of Cups. I mean, all of this can talk about several different things. This person might put um, or it could even be you, because this is the weaknesses within the relationship. So one of you or the both of you may put a lot of value, maybe too much, into money, luxuries, resources. Um, in a relationship, it's good to have, you know, a desire to create that kind of financial stability, but at the same time, it gets to a point where you neglect other aspects of the relationship because you're so focused on the coin. And that Nine of Cups is a card about, emotional fulfillment, contentment. It is a wish fulfillment card. So maybe somebody has a dream here of creating a kind of wealth that requires that Eight of Cup or the Eight of Pentacles to the extreme that Eight of Pentacles can become a workaholic. They are working, you know, extreme amount, like the hours. They work a 8-hour job, then they have a second job, and then when they get home, they're still working on other projects. So that can become unhealthy in a sense. Like, yes, there's one thing about, that Ten of Pentacles is a card about financial security, especially for a family. It's creating a legacy. It's creating possibly a business that you can turn around and pass down generation to generation. It's a generational card. Um, but then there's no time for the other important parts of relationship that need to be, acknowledged, that need to be cared for, that need to be nurtured. Um, Another aspect of the Nine of Cups and the King of Cups could be somebody, maybe, they have a hard time moderating how they enjoy themselves, maybe overeat, maybe they overdrink. Um, I don't think it's like an alcoholic, because we don't have the devil here. We don't have um, a couple other cards here that could talk about that. But yes, the King of Cups can enjoy drinking and reveling and, letting loose. With the Nine of Cups, that might be how they cool off, or how you just, not trying to point the finger that they're the bad guy, you're the bad guy. It can be kind of a different, you're both going to have your challenges. Um, and again, we start off with the sword energy. So even though the King of Cups is a very emotional, very loving, very nurturing, very compassionate, kind person, the King of Cups can also be on the other side of that coin. They can have a hard time expressing themselves. They can be slow to open up, slow to be vulnerable. And I feel like that's probably an aspect of this person, just because we did start out with that kind of, I'm gonna look into you without you knowing about it. I'm gonna like browse through all your social media. I'm gonna ask friends about you. I'm gonna investigate. I'm gonna go detective um, before I'm willing to meet you at a more vulnerable place. So I think that's an aspect too, is if you're wanting this person to, you know, expose every bit of their being to you at first, I don't think that's what you're going to get. Or maybe that's even you, because you do show up as the Queen of Swords. Maybe you both struggle with being emotionally open towards each other. Now, to get even further into this, we have the Bull. Do not back down from opposition. Remember, I was saying they're stubborn. Show strength and fortitude. So, in their mind, in order to show strength and fortitude, that means do not give up, do not give in, do not relent. Obviously, that's a good idea or a good um, uh, mindset to take in certain things like business or um, self-care can require that. Healthy boundaries can require that. Um, if it comes to an unhealthy environment or situation or person, that's good. But in a relationship, there has to be some, uh, starts with a C, not composure. Get out of my head. It's where you concede a little bit. That's not the word, but it's compromise. There has to be some compromise. And I think one of you is going to struggle with that a little just because of either how they were raised, how they've managed to get to where they are in life, or you. Keep in mind, I say they just because I'm talking about them, but it could be on your side. You both could be equally stubborn. So that is a weakness in the relationship. Somebody's going to be pretty bullheaded. And then we have the coins, which is a good thing in this particular deck, but we have it under the weaknesses as challenges. Money will be coming to you, and we see all these coins like falling out of the air. Again, that kind of gave me that um, the energy of somebody, putting all of their uh, what they believe will bring them emotional fulfillment is coin, is wealth, is resources, is um, possibly either fame and fortune. And that, again, without repeating myself, that can become detrimental to a healthy, balanced relationship. And then we have skull. Hidden secrets can harm you. Now, I read that two different ways. One of them was, they had the Seven of Swords, which again can be deceptive, lying, cheating, stealing, self-deception as well. So they may have some secrets. You may have some secrets. Um, and these would be the kind of secrets that, like, uh, for example, I have dated people in the past that were not upfront with me about certain habits that they had or certain things that triggered them to do certain other things or just how they were. Like they would put on this persona to reel you in, right? And then once you get locked into a relationship, then the real them comes out. Now, that could be an aspect of this, but what I felt more strongly here with the skull, the hidden secrets can harm you. It's under the card about family. It is a card. The Ten of Pentacles is a card about financial stability, and all tens are completion. So this is a wealth card. Um, but it doesn't really line up. Maybe there's secrets with how they came by their wealth but more so I feel like, again, because of other cards that have come up here, I feel like they or you, but I feel like it's on their side. They've got some family issues of some kind that they don't, maybe they're ashamed of, and they don't want to expose that. They don't want to talk about it. But because they hide that aspect of their lives from you, it could be something that could definitely cause some issues later on. Now in what way, I wouldn't know, but I can only imagine, like I mean, the worst one that I could think is if they have a wife and child and they don't tell you that, that's terrible. Another could be like they have an overbearing mother or father, um, or they have like a drug addiction, like or drug addiction or addiction is very prominent in their family, and that has it's just, things that you have to share with your partner, and I mean your life partner. So you're not blindsided when it comes time to face that, or so that's what I felt there. Um, so yeah, let's move on. So the strengths. Now it's kind of odd because you got the King of Cups showing up here and the King of Cups showing it's the weakness. So again, I feel like because they're showing up both in the weakness and the strength for the relationship, it's like you have to kind of be patient with this person again, or you both have to kind of grow together in a way that eventually you come to understand that it's the only way this connection can grow and progress and reach, higher levels of commitment is if you start being more open, express yourself, and that's emotionally. Cups deals with emotion. So the strength here is the King of Cups. So that's good that it goes from being on the weakness to the strength. Um, and again, the King of Cups, King or Queen of Cups, Cancer, Pisces, Scorpio. But this is somebody again who's very kind, loving, nurturing, very compassionate, empathetic, possibly like has some, there might be kind of like a telepathic connection between you two. You always seem to know what the other one's thinking or feeling, even, without talking about it. But that's a deeper connection than just the mental, just the physical. So a strength of this is that you guys are connected at the heart level. And that's really good for a long-term commitment or a long-term connection. Now we have the Seven of Swords, which came here, and very good strategizer, but that doesn't really make sense. It only makes sense until we read this card, which kind of again goes back to some of these other cards that I was talking about, which we'll get to. Then we have the Two of Wands. The Two of Wands is a crossroads. It's a decision. It's the need for an action to be taken. It's a very forward-thinking card, so it's a good thing to have here because this says there is the potential for this thing to move forward. It's not just a fling. It's not, um, a summer affair. You or they or the both of you kind of you see what it would be like to have this person in your life, and you plan on it, and you plan together. Maybe you strategize together ways in which you can both move forward as a couple. Um, and that's clarified by strength. So a strength of your relationship is the strength of the relationship, possibly your own strength and their strength. We already know that they are very strong, probably strong willed, strong minded, but strength, not just physical, but mental, emotional, spiritual, even, and the Emperor. So this is a very decisive, assertive card, somebody that kind of takes the lead. Um, so again, it's not something that just kind of pitters out. It's not something that, this person is just going to like, oh, you make all the wedding plans. I'm just going to sit back here and stuff my face with gravy. It's like they want to be a part of this just as much as you. You both come with the same kind of um, ambition. Not that's not the right word. You both want you say you have the same passion towards making this something long term, moving this forward, moving as a couple, but also as the possibilities, if that makes sense. And you both are very determined in doing that. Um, so these are freaking fantastic cards. I know it started off kind of weird, but um, now we have mice. Discord among friends or family. We had rat down here, remember? And now we have mice. So there may be more than one individual. It may be on both of your sides. And remember, we had family wishes come true. Um, you know, changes, time to get out of a situation, someone working against your back. We've got and the hidden secrets. We've got some cards that tell me that there's somebody on the outside of this that may be um disruptive. And I think that's why that 7 of Swords is here. Maybe you guys have to maybe you guys have to see each other in secret because of their family situation or your family situation. Um, because the person or the people that are involved are just so, conniving or underhanded, negative, toxic. And that's why I feel like that 7 of Swords is there. It's not because, they're lying or they're deceiving you or they have ulterior motives. That's not a strength, obviously. So I feel like it's towards the discord among friends or family. I think that you guys are one of your strengths is being able to navigate together away from that kind of toxicity. And then we have bowl, plenty of material things, and that's falling under and funnily enough, he's actually holding this big ass bowl. It's a cup, but it looks like, let me see. It looks like, and we got turtles here too, which turtles talk about longevity. Turtles can live to be hundreds, well, not hundreds, but well over 100 years old. Yeah, so it's this. I don't. You probably can't see it, but it's a cup, but it's huge. It's like a bowl almost, and we got that right underneath. And if you guys get a private reading, I shuffle on screen. I just don't do it here. I didn't do it because my video got blocked, but I don't do it on my channel readings just because I already take up so much time. But if I ever do like mini readings, I will. I'll shuffle on screen. Uh, it would be pointless for me to sit here and place the cards that I want here. I mean, I'm sure some readers do it, but I guess you'll just have to take my word for it. Anyway, the bowl, plenty of material things. Yes, you will be rich in love. I feel like that more than anything. I don't think you'll have financial problems just because of how uh, allergic to laziness this person seems to be. I think that they would be offended to take um, a back seat when it came to finance. Like, I don't think they would be the type of individual to be like, "Oh, honey, you go on and I'll be um the home uh the caretaker or whatever. I'll be the housewife and you go make the money." That's not this person. I think they would probably wither away if they were inactive for too long. So yeah, I think you'll be rich in love. But I do feel like you'll be solid when it comes to money. And then we have broom, new home, new attitude. And with the two of wands, the thing about the two of wands is that can sometimes talk about travel. Um, it is a crossroads card, a card about choosing this path or that path, and sometimes that requires, moving, physically moving, mm, or otherwise. But I feel like that plays back into here. I feel like your best bet in this scenario would be either moving away from these people or moving not so much literally but figuratively leaving them behind. And that's where you're going to see the best potential of this relationship is if maybe you don't have to physically move away, move town, move city, move state. Maybe that's not possible. Um, but one of your strengths is the ability to, when faced with a decision, you're open and you're adaptable, and you're both very capable of taking on those challenges. But I feel like that's a very positive card. New home, new attitude. You both are very, if you're not like naturally optimistic, I feel like the two of you together feel that way about your relationship, about your future, and about yourselves. So let's move on to the timing. When will you meet this person? Now, obviously, um, this won't resonate for the people that are already, with this person. You'll know by now if I'm talking about your person. If you are with a person and this isn't, sounding like them, and you're probably watching a tarot reading because things are not going so well. Usually, when you're happy in a relationship, you don't need tarot. So it could be that this is a future person or it could be that this is just not your reading. You could be with your person. This doesn't match. This is not your reading. But others of you, this might be a confirmation of how you met. It's a timing placement. So when, where, or how will you meet this person? Now this is difficult to read, just because it's general. I don't know you. I don't know your person. So I'll try to give storylines. But for those of you that are single, yeah, take it with a grain of salt. I mean, I can't have a reading match up for everyone. So when shuffling the month cards, I came up with October 1st. Not the date October. October was the first card to come out. I put it back because I wasn't sure. Sometimes when I'm shuffling, it just slips out. I like flippers. January came out twice. For some of you, you may meet in October, or the initial meeting may be in October, and it might, you might like meet on a more personal level in January. Um, some of you, this might have been last January. Okay, you've already met this person, and it was last January. Some of you, this will be next January, or last October, and or next October. So just keep that in mind. But January is significant here for some of you. Again, this is general. So we also have in the middle the Seven of Pentacles, a Judgment card, and the Magician. So 7 as the number, July, or the 7th, or 7 days, 7 weeks, 7 months, years. I doubt that, because tarot usually doesn't go that far into the future unless you specify it to. It can also be during a time when you're shopping. You could meet this person while you're shopping. She's like looking at these fruits, trying to decide whether they're ripe. You could be at a garden center, you could be at a nursery, you could be, it could be for some of you that you hire a landscaper. Maybe this person's a landscaper, or you are, and that's how you meet. It could be in a period of your life where you are trying to decide what to invest in and what to let go of, or they are. But I feel like this is you. It's for you to know when you're going to meet this person. Um, and again, this 7 as a month would be July, so you could meet them this month, um, or the 7th of any given month. 7 days, 7 weeks, 7 months from now. Um, Let's see, July, wait, no, August, September, October, November, December, well, that matches up. No, that's 6. I can count on my fingers. Well, it could be maybe the end of December and January is where you officially start dating. So it could go either way. Again, it could be um, in the type of environment where you might be like harvest. Okay, harvest time. That's where October would come in. Um, when I looked up the Seven of Pentacles, I want to say that the timing of it, I honestly can't remember. I can't remember what dates they gave for this card, for a timing card. I wanna say it's, like, earlier than July, like, maybe May, March or May. I'm not sure, so don't quote me on that. Um, but for some of you, it's not even because I asked this to be when, where, or how will you meet this person? So, I mean, I'm trying to give different examples. The Judgment card here can mean a couple things. Again, some of you may have ended a situation. Judgment can be a final ending, and now you're in a stage where you are deciding what's worth my effort, what's worth my time, my energy, my resources, and what is not. So your standards are a little bit higher now. Um, you're not settling, and you're not just jumping into anything. You want to be more like that's a very earth energy. So if you think of Taurus, Virgo, Capricorn, they're not the most impulsive. With Judgment here, um, this is a final ending, so you could have ended something, and that's why you're the Seven of Pentacles. This can also be a card of second chances. Some of you maybe have already dealt with this person before, and this could be for some of you an ex. If that's the case, most of this would have resonated already, and you would know. But also, the Judgment card is about a spiritual, divine calling. Now, that could be that some of you are being divinely called to certain areas of your life that need kind of that pick and choose. It's time to cut out all the unnecessary. Others of you, this could be that you are divinely guided to this person, and when the timing is right, the timing is ripe. That just plays into what that's not the meaning of the card. It's like the timing is ripe. So it could be for some of you, this is very, very soon. Um, so final endings, second chances, divine calling or spiritual or divine, well, yeah, divine calling. And then we have the Magician. And funnily enough, the Magician is number 1 in tarot, number 1 first month. So yeah, that's just a confirmation that for some of you, you will meet this person in January or last January, you already met them. Um, and the Magician is a card about manifesting. So I feel like in tangent with all these other cards, you are like manifesting this person into your life. Possibly you're both manifesting each other towards each other. We do have that divine couple here. That divine couple being you're both in the same suit, the same level, both king and queen. You are meant to rule a kingdom together because that's just how we read tarot. Um, so yeah, you're manifesting this person towards you, or you're manifesting this kind of connection because you're at that place where you're no longer settling. You're no longer just uh, picking the lowest fruit. Um, you want that one at the tippity top, the one you got to fight for, and the one that's worth it. So here we have Mule. Someone is extremely stubborn and unwilling to change. Again, Bull. So when you meet this person, you might right off the bat be like a little turned off by their stubbornness. Um, and that might kind of like mm, put you off a little bit when you meet this person. You may also be in that energy. Again, you might be coming off like really untouchable because that Queen of Swords, again, remember, she's somebody that's been through it. She's put up this protective armor and, you know, she'll talk to you, but she's also got a sword. So lie to her, she'll cut you. Um, so somebody, well, I don't think that's so much. Now, when I'm thinking, more literally, a mule together with the Seven of Pentacles and that harvest time kind of energy that I get from that, it could be at like a farmer's market. I don't know how to read that otherwise. Acts, forces working against you. Um, and I feel like that's just the energy you'll feel like. I f- because of what you've been through and what you've put up with, you'll feel that. Um, but we have the judgment card here, which I feel like that's kind of like you'll be feeling like nothing's going your way in relationships and love. But behind the scenes, you know, whatever you want to call it, you want to call it God, you want to call it spirit, you want to call it uh, hell, Athena, or whatever universe, spirit. Behind the scenes, it's working in your favor, but it's also testing you to see if you will take that low hanging fruit. In other words, that easy thing, that thing that's just there. You don't want to wait for the goods. You just want to take, run, and go. Um, but I think given the rest of this reading, you'll pass that test. And then we've got dog close up, pleasure with a close friend. So again, back to this, you guys could have already met and, you know, had a friendship, have a friendship. Or for some of you, maybe you meet this person through a mutual friend. Maybe your friend sets you up with this person. You kind of go on a blind date kind of scenario. All right. So the overall quality of the relationship, good, bad, and ugly. You have the Nine of Wands. Again, defensive, right? Coming from a place of wounding. So being very guarded, being very hard to open up. But at the same time, on the flip side of that, the Nine of Wands is mm, they are, I'm searching for the right word here, not just diligent, but they're determined. The Wounded Warrior card, the Nine of Wands, is a card about somebody who has been through it. They've been through the shit, and yet they're still standing, they're still fighting, they're still holding on, and they will continue to do that until the very, like, I wish I had just a regular tarot card so I could show you. Like, they have a bandage around their head. In traditional tarot, that it's a man standing there. There's nine wands behind him. He's holding on to one nine. He's kind of leaning on it for support. He's got a bandage wrapped around his head, um, but he's still standing there. Like, he is so determined to hold the line. And usually it is like a self-defense um, measure, kind of like keeping people at bay, keeping things at bay. Um, but on the flip side of that, it's a card about perseverance. So in a relationship, that's what you want, right? You want your ride or die person. Oh, give me one second. My little one's up. All right, sorry about that. Um, Overall quality of the relationship, somebody who is persistent, dedicated. We have the Two of Swords. I feel like that's like initiative or initiating. Where it starts off is the Two of Swords, where you both kind of closed off, or one of you was more so than the other, afraid to access that emotional place with you because of this guardedness. But we do have the Wheel of Fortune that turns things around, that shifts things to the other side of that coin or the other side of that spectrum. Um, that's what the Wheel of Fortune is. It's a necessary switch. Um, so I think that it does start off kind of rocky and shaky and uncertain with this person, even though there is that strength and resilience there, reliability, dependability. Um, but overall, we have the egg, success assured with good plans and hard work. So basically, out of the way out of this Two of Swords energy, where you kind of closed off, um, you're not seeing something, you're not acknowledging something, and you're not wanting to address the deeper aspects. Which she's got her back turned to the water. Water represents emotion. Um, with plans and hard work, you can get through that together. And then we have frying pan, trouble, accusations. I do feel like, again, that Seven of Swords and the Five of Swords is like that accusation that, you know, being easily triggered or being easily, maybe miscommunications a lot, misinterpretations. That's going to be an issue just because of how they're approaching it. Um, but more so with the frying pan, that goes in line with what we were talking about, the mice, the discord, the working against you behind your back, possibly forces working against you, hidden secrets, these things that kept popping up. And then we have shield. You need to defend yourself. Defend yourself with the Nine of Wands. But there's an older woman. Okay, you need to defend yourself from an older woman, and I think that's where it all boils down to. Now, it could be an older man for some of you, but I feel for the person or the people that this is meant for, there is somebody in the outskirts, or maybe even very closely attached, is an older woman. It could be a mother, it could be a sister, it could be an ex, it could be a friend, but this person, I feel, is like the root of most of these issues. And that's why this person is so guarded, and that's why these energies, they have such a tenacious grip on this relationship, is because of this other entity, this other person, this other figure. Um, and I mean, if you're a woman who's dating a man who's got issues with his mom, this will resonate for you. It could come back to a person that they're dealing with that they don't tell you about, coming back to that secret thing. Um, maybe they have some type of like hold on this person. They feel like they're obligated to keep this person in their life for whatever reason. But basically, what this is saying is this person, it could even be someone on your side of the fence. This person is causing a lot of the issues here just because of the cards that keep coming up here. As far as, disharmony, trouble, um, There's an imbalance, and it's a lot of it is coming because of this other person's influence or power over the other person. So I feel like all of that, once you start protecting yourself, or you both start protecting yourself against this person's energy, is when you will see that big wheel of fortune, that big shift in the relationship. Um, because this person seems to be very toxic. All right, so let's finally look at how this person sees and feels about you. Beautiful freaking cards, okay? Like absolutely gorgeous cards for how somebody looks at you, how they feel about you. You got the world, okay? Literally, that could be taken. This person thinks the world of you, or you are their world. You are the entire alphabet, and they can't create a language with even one single letter missing, and that's what you are to them. You are the entirety, and that's reiterated here with the sun. We have the Two of Cups. They do feel an emotional connection, possibly even a soul tie here with you. Um, no, I don't remember. I did clarify a lot of these cards and I put them back because they weren't necessary. I don't remember if the lovers came up. I'm pretty sure it probably did. But even if it didn't, this is a strong connection that only grows stronger with that sun as time unfolds and as your bond get strengthens. um it becomes very clear to this person how much you mean to them and how much their their lives are brightened. Like you are their joy, you are their happiness, that you are um they see success and victory with you, and not only like with you, but they feel like they won the lottery when it comes to uh who they got as their partner. They may see you as receiving a lot of attention from outsiders, but they take it as a compliment. I don't see it. I mean, maybe initially when they're still back in this like everything's a hustle kind of thing. Everybody's trying to get one over on me. But in the end here, um, I feel like they feel like the attention that you get is only confirming and affirming, reaffirming what a gift they have with you. Again, that Two of Cups is an emotional bond and emotional connection. So again, it's not just physical, it's not just a mental, but there is emotion behind that as well. The Sun card is like one of the luckiest cards in tarot. So they do feel very lucky to have you, and you do bring them a lot of joy. You are their light. You are the compass by which they um, point, or you are the sun in which they point their compass. So really, really beautiful cards. There is one small caveat to all of this, and I'll only say it as a disclaimer because it's not as strong. For some of you, um, I feel like there is a little bit of superficial at first, only because of where this person comes from. Specifically for those people that might have met this person when they got out of a difficult relationship. They left a, a marriage or a, a union where they might have thought that they were being sneaky and that they were going to. There's an element here of feeling like, well, that didn't go well. I'm gonna go out there and I'm just gonna attach myself to the first person I see and get back at this person. I'm not saying that's what I feel like is definitely on this person's mind, but there is like a subconscious kind of like, let me win. Let me feel victorious in the fact that I can get somebody else. I can even get somebody more attractive. I can get somebody smarter. I can get somebody um, more successful. And I say that because we have chair, empty, and crown, but again, that's not the strongest message I get. So let's go through these. And this falls right under it is time to go out and have fun. So they might have just, when you guys meet, you might meet like through a party. Remember that Three of Cups, kind of a celebration. It might be like a go out with the friends and they kind of meet, or you meet this person at a get together, or you're both out with your own separate group of friends and you kind of meet that way. And something about you, they see you and boom, they can't take their eyes off of you. There is an instant attraction, but I don't think they'll be super obvious about it. And then we have carriage, a journey either physical or mental. And now this is, how they feel or think of you, but I also get like the world can represent somebody at a large distance, a vast difference. There could be difference in age. There could be a difference in, uh, you know, bringing up, uh, like how you were brought up, how you were raised. So religious, societal, political. There could be an ethnicity difference. That's something the world can talk about, but right underneath it, we have the carriage. So this could be somebody that you meet at a distance. Um, Possibly they came into town or you came into town to get together with friends, if that's how you meet. You kind of meet by chance that way. Um, or it could be that some of you like you meet and then somebody has to move for whatever reason. But with that card there, I feel like they would move mountains to be with you. Like if you moved off to, I don't know, India, they would follow you there if that's what it took to be with you. But also with the world and it says a journey either physical or mental, I feel like that's talking about you kind of expand their ideas and mind and perspective of what it is to love a person, to cherish a person, to be in a relationship. You kind of open their eyes and open their world to a different way. Because what I think they're used to is this having to always be guarded, 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 guarded. Take care, be cautious, be careful. Never let it slip that you are or they are this king of cups over here. They've always got to have like something, the shield to protect them. And with you, you show them a different way. Key, successful outcome to your problems. So they see success in you and they also see you as a way to overcome those things. They see kind of like you are the other half to that power couple. And they trust you. Like in order to, have access to me, you've got to first win the key and without sounding not trying to sound cliche, but they would gladly give you that key that to their house, that key to their heart. Um, and that comes with trust, which I don't feel I have on your first impression, your first meeting, which is life changing for them because I don't think they've experienced that before. And then we do have chair empty, someone leaving your life. Honor and respect will come to you with the crown. So again, we've got two cards here that talk about success and victory. Well, three if you count the Six of Wands. We've got three cards that talk about success, victory, receiving attention, receiving recognition. I think they'll like When you 2 go out, I think they'll like the looks that you guys get together. But this is where that energy came in, that some of them might feel like at first it was just a thing to get over on the last person, like, "Haha, look what I got," like, "You lost out, I got this amazing person," and it was just that kind of superficial, shallow thing at first. But I think once that upon meeting you and upon, like, engaging with you and getting deeper, I don't think that'll matter anymore, and they'll really see it as like, "Oh, wow, I literally just I found my queen, I found my king, I found my, the other half to this kingdom that I want to have. Um, and you are the person I want to fill this empty chair with. You are the person that I want to give this key to, this crown to." And those are just freaking awesome cards. Also, something about the crown chakra too, because we've got um, mental journey. We've got the sun, which can talk about, the mind, the ego. Um, and then we've got the crown. So, yeah, the crown chakra, like you unlock a part of that part of themselves that's like, I don't think they've ever had before. They've never known what that was. So, really good for how they see and feel about you. There's a little bit of a shaky start here, I'm not gonna lie. There's a little bit of, some issues, that you're gonna have to work out. Not to say that you're, like, this pristine, perfect individual, but this is just getting a look into them. Now, if I did your side, we would literally be here all night. Sorry for those of you, if you're still here, thank you so much. I know this is a long reading. Um, but I give really in-depth readings, and I also get lost in the story as always. I really appreciate you guys, giving me your time. And if you feel like this is your story, if this sounds like familiar to you, please feel free to leave a comment. Leave a comment anyway. If you want to like, share, subscribe, all of that helps to, generate my videos more to get that out. Yeah, so yeah, like I said, if any of you want a personal reading, all that's in my details or in the detail box. I hope you guys enjoyed this. Yeah, I guess I'll see you guys next time. Have a great night and hopefully see you soon.